Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dom Dumas, and I'm in Bangkok. Koh Samui, episode 25. Now, before I get too far into this, first thing I need to tell you is Koh in Thai basically means island. So this episode is about the island of Samui. Well, a little bit more than the island of Samui. It's about preparing to go, my first time there, and what we did there and coming back and stuff like that. One of the really exciting things about this trip is, outside of the fact that I'd never actually been to Koh Samui before, my sister, Danelle, was visiting from the States. This is the first time she'd ever visited Thailand, so we thought we'd do something really, really nice for her. So she arrived on the 9th of April at roughly about 12:30, and by the time she got through customs and immigration and stuff like that, it was about 1:30. Met her. Oh, it was so great. I hadn't seen her in 6 years. Tracy and I hadn't seen her in like 6 years, so it was such an amazing experience just to pick her up at the airport. It was great. And of course we gave each other a big hug. But then, so it's 12:30, 1:30, we get all our stuff, go get, Tracy we have to get some water and stuff like that because Danelle's a bit parched, and I'm really thirsty myself, so didn't know if Danelle had to convert any money or not, which she didn't have to, but anyway. So we get a taxi back to the house. By the time we get back to the house, it's about 2:30 in the morning because it takes about an hour to get from our place to Suvarnabhumi Airport. And we relax a few minutes, well, more than a few minutes, maybe about another hour. So we're looking at about 3:30 in the morning. I'll tell you what, I was tuckered. I was really tired, but I was also really, really excited at the same time because I hadn't seen my sister in 6 years. We're getting ready to go to Koh Samui, so it's like really exciting. But we had decided, we need to actually go lay down at least for a few hours because our flight was at about 2:30 in the afternoon. So to get there, you want to be there. You want to get to the airport about 2 hours ahead of time to give you time to check in, check your bags, make your way to the gate. If there's any last minute stuff that you want to get, to go take care of that. So we wanted to be at the airport by about 12:30. So we ended up leaving the house at about 11:30. So we had a couple hours sleep, about 6-7 hours sleep. No big deal. That was pretty nice. We got to the airport, got checked in. Tracy and I had a check bag, made our way to the gate. And this is like really exciting for me because I'd never been to Koh Samui, and I'm taking my sister Danelle, so it's like really, really exciting. And flights to Koh Samui, because it's there's an airline, the airline that goes there kind of has a little bit of a monopoly going to Koh Samui. So the flights are a little bit expensive. They're not bad. They've been worse from my understanding. So they were about 10,000 baht per person round trip. And for those of you that are British that are listening to my podcast, that would be with return. So about 10,000 baht per ticket, one for me, one for Tracy, one for Danelle. So we get through, go to the airport, and it's a little tiny. Tracy was kind of worried because she hadn't gone to Koh Samui in quite a few years, so she thought they might still be using prop planes, but that's no big deal. But anyway, we got to the gate, plane pulls up. It's not a prop plane, it's a jet. So she's kind of cool. She's excited now. Not excited. She wasn't not excited, but she was kind of worried about what Danelle might think a little bit because she didn't, what kind of places still use prop planes? I mean, geez. But no, it was pretty cool. So we had a jet, flew to the island, and then we had to rent a van to take us to our resort, and our resort was Samui Paradise Island. Sorry, Samui Paradise Resort, which is on Chawang Beach, which is really, really nice. The beach itself is beautiful, and it's a long stretch of beach on the one side of the island. It's a good distance from the airport. to the resort. Actually, most of the resorts on the island are a good distance because I think the airport is on the other side of the island. So the first thing we do is we get to the resort and we check in, and Danelle gets her key, and Tracy and I get our key. Now the rooms at Samui Paradise Resort, they're about 4,000 baht a night per room, which isn't bad. It's not bad. I mean, it's not a spectacular room. I mean, we didn't get a suite or anything like that. The suites were way out of our budget. But the room that we had was actually really, really nice. And I'm assuming that, because I didn't actually see Danelle's room, the room that we had a nice king-size bed, huge bed, and had a television, a refrigerator, and a bar with some snacks and stuff like that. And then a decent-sized bath. Well, actually, the bathroom was huge, kind of an L shape with a ginormous shower area, which was really kind of neat. And of course, they had the place where the wardrobe where you put all your clothes and stuff like that. So, got to the room, dropped off all our bags, changed clothes. We decided we were going to try and walk up the beach a little bit. So I went down. We walked down to the beach, and it was beautiful beach, and I'd forgotten my camera. So I went back to the room, got my camera, came back again. Danelle had forgot something, so I don't know if she wanted to change or something like that. She went back to her room, so Tracy and I waited a few minutes, and then she came back, and then we walked up the beach, and it was really nice. We stopped looked at a few places. They had jet skis there, which we thought about. Well, maybe they didn't think about, but I definitely thought about renting. They I've never driven a jet ski, so that there was an opportunity for that, which we ended up not doing, which is all right. We had all kinds of other things that I'm going to tell you about that we did. We had plans for every day, so this was pretty cool. We found a nice little place. We had a few drinks. We each had a drink. Tracy and Danelle, I think, had some type of shake, and of course, me, I'm a beer drinker. I had a beer. We relaxed a little bit. It's still nice out. It's still sunny out, so we decided, well, let's go back to the room. We're kind of tired. I mean, Danelle just arrived, just like this morning. Tracy and I stayed up all night so we could meet Danelle at the airport and take her back to our place, so we were all a bit tired. So we decided to go wander back up the beach to our resort, and we decided we were going to get ready for dinner. So we relaxed in the room for about an hour or so, and then met Danelle, went to the little restaurant area, and we had this really nice table that overlooked the sea. The stars were out. I took a few pictures that night, but beautiful setting. Had some really good food and just relaxed and talked. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that I loved about going on this trip is hearing Danelle and Tracy just talk about everything. They got along so well, and I loved it. But anyway, this isn't about that. This is about our trip to Koh Samui. So we had dinner and we relaxed a little bit. Spent quite a few hours talking, not a few hours, probably, maybe it was about 2 hours. And then we went back to the room. Actually, we decided we were going to walk up to the local mini mart to get a few snacks and stuff like that, just in case we got hungry later. Plus, you don't want to eat the stuff that's in the bar, because it's in the stocked bar that's inside your room, because it's always more expensive than if you were to go down to the local mini mart and get something. So we went to the local mini mart. We picked up a few snacks. I think I got M&Ms, big bag of M&Ms, and we went back to the room. We hung out and just kind of relaxed. And then that was the day that we arrived. And then on our first actual full day at Koh Samui, we decided we were going to go to Lamai Beach, and there's amazing rock formations on Lamai Beach, or at one end of Lamai Beach, and they're called Hin Ta and Hin Yai. Now, Hin Ta, it means grandfather. It doesn't mean grandfather. The name of this one particular rock formation is grandfather, and they also call it Hin Ta. And then the other one is Hin Yai, which is the grandmother rock formation. Now, before I get too far into that, we ended up walking. We didn't know exactly where this rock formation was at, so we just asked our taxi driver that brought us to the beach to drop us off, anywhere on Lam Yai Beach. Well, so we got dropped off at the beach, and we're walking up the beach, and it's beautiful. The sea is so clear, and the water, it's really hot though, so it's really super, super hot. But I mean, we're in the middle of a heat wave. It's still really hot in Thailand. So, but we weren't rushing, so we just kind of like meandered up the beach, kind of taking our time, looking at some really cool. I saw this really nice, interesting, big piece of rock that had some weird textures in it, which was kind of cool. I took a picture of that. I'll probably share that picture. I'll definitely share pictures of our trip to Koh Samui in the show notes for this, and those you can find at domdumas.com/25. But yeah, so we wandered up the beach. There's a few rocks here and there, which is kind of nice. Let our feet soak in the water as we walk up the beach a little bit. I'll tell you what, the sand was so hot, because at one point we actually took off our shoes and it was like almost burning our feet. The sand was so hot. But we found another place. We decided we'd wandered probably about an hour or so up the beach, and it was so hot. But we decided, okay, we need to take a break, have a few drinks, get some water, some lemon shakes, beer for me, of course. And we're relaxing and deciding, trying to figure out, where the hell is these rock formations. Tracy remembered seeing them from years ago, and she couldn't quite remember exactly where they were at. She thought they were where we were, but they ended up not being where we were at. So we had to go further up the beach, but that's okay. I mean, that was cool, So we wandered up further up the beach, after we relaxed a little bit and cooled down. We continued meandering up the beach, and then we got to a point where we couldn't go any further, but we could kind of see there was a lookout. And then there were some people up on the lookout, and it looked like something on the other side. But we couldn't quite actually see it. So we found a little cutaway going up through one of the resorts there to the road, followed the road up, and then we went through like this little walking street area, which was actually kind of neat. There was all kinds of really cool stuff there. Tourist stuff, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like anything amazing, but we found some really cool things. Tracy got this really cool wind chime, which was amazing. But anyway, so we ended up walking through this little area, and of course, it's really, really hot. But we found these two things, Hin Ta and Hin Yai, and so we can see Hin Ta, but we decided we're going to go to Hin Yai first. So Hin Yai is called grandmother. And I don't mean to be rude or crude or anything like that, but this rock formation actually looks like a woman's bits, down below the waist. And so I took a few pictures of that, of course, and I'm always taking pictures of Tracy and Danelle. And then the other rock formation, which is Hin Ta, grandfather or grandpa, it actually looks like a man's bits, So that is actually kind of funny. The way some of the pictures that some of the people were taking were just hilarious, especially at Hin Ta. Do you know what I mean? So like they had one person would lay on their back, and in the background they would have Hin Ta, and somebody else would be like looking like they were touching the top and stuff like that. I'll try and find some pictures to show everybody. But it was hilarious. But it was a pretty amazing. And the walk, though, I mean, to be really honest, it was really, really hot when we went there. Of course, it's in the middle of the hot season, but they were setting record highs while we were there. And then we decided to go. We really needed to take a break. I scared Tracy because I slipped down a little bit of the rocks when I was going to take a few pictures of Hin Yai, but I was okay. Just kind of banged up my hand a little bit. But we were really, really hot. Tracy was looking really, really red, so we decided we'd find a place underneath some awnings or, covered where we could sit down, relax, have a few cold drinks, and so everybody could kind of cool off a little bit. So we found a place not very far, and we were relaxing, had a few sodas. And I think Danelle had an iced coffee. And then Tracy decided she was going to go buy. She saw this beautiful, kind of like a windmobile with birds on it, and it was beautiful. So she decided she really, really wanted this. So she went back, found the place, and ended up buying it, which is cool. And then this lookout, Danelle and I wanted to go up to this lookout because it's really high up. And you look down over the sea and over the cliffs, So we went and followed the path to where it said the lookout was. It was like 10 baht per person, which was like no big deal. And you kind of have to go up these stairs, and it's kind of a bit of a hike, not far, but just the way it goes up and the way it's laid out, it's not very tourist friendly, I guess you could say, if you're just like your average like tourist that is not necessarily one of the fittest people. But I don't know. We got up to the top, and the nice thing is they do have a rail, but the view, oh my God, it was amazing. You could see forever, and of course, well, the only thing you can see is out to sea, but there's a few rocks and stuff, and you can see another part of the island and stuff like that. But just the view from up there was incredible, and I did take a few pictures, which I will share from this area. But one of the problems is you're under this beating sun. It's just pounding down on you. I mean, we felt it while we were walking up the beach. We felt a little bit while we were at Hin Ta and Hin Yai. And then when Danelle and I were up on this lookout, I mean, they had a railing around it just to touch the railings. The railings were so hot just from the sun. It was incredible. So we'd had enough, so we walked back down, and I took a few pictures from actually the walk down, which was because I saw a few interesting areas. So, and then we went back, met Tracy, relaxed a little bit, walked our way back up to an area where we could catch a taxi, and then we went back to the hotel, or to the resort, and back to Chawang Beach, which is another area. But it was just because it was so hot. All three of us were so drained. By the time we got back to the resort, I think it might have been like 3-4 o'clock. But it was just like, man, we were like done for the day. We didn't want to do anything else. So we went back to our rooms, had a shower, decided we were going to go have dinner a little bit later. We'd meet up later. But we went back to our rooms, relaxed, cooled down a lot, and then met up for dinner, had another lovely dinner, and then Danelle really wanted to go see some elephants. And one of the nice things about being in Thailand is you can go see the elephants, but you have an opportunity to actually ride elephants. Now, we told her about this, so she was really, really excited. So we went back to the check-in desk, and we wanted to find out how much it was to go on to one of these places that have elephant rides, and we found one of the better ones. And it was like a half a day. They had a few different packages, but the one that we decided to go for, we could do an elephant trek. We'd ride around a little bit for about 15-20 minutes, and then you get to hike to a waterfall. And then you get to see an elephant show, and then you can see a monkey show, and then you can see a crocodile show, and then they're going to give you dinner. Or not dinner, sorry. They'll give you lunch, So this was all like really exciting. And I was really excited. I mean, I'd only ridden an elephant once, but I'd never seen an elephant. Oh, I'm wrong. I'd seen an elephant show once, the same day not the same day, but I saw an elephant show once. I'd never seen a monkey show. I was a bit worried because the advertisement for the monkey show they had these monkeys like dressed in costumes and playing ukuleles, which sounds really cute, but it's not really my thing. But, Danelle has never seen this. I'd never seen this. So, hey, why not? Plus, I'd never seen a crocodile show, so that was kind of exciting. But so we booked them to pick us up in the morning. And it was 1,600 baht per person, which is like really, really good, actually. So in the morning, Danelle and I get up really early in the morning, go have breakfast, go out front. About 9, I think they were picking us up about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then we the guy the van comes and picks us up, full van, and Danelle and I were the last two to be picked up. We go to the place for this trek, and we had stickers put on us so we could make sure we were all in the same group. They take us up to where the elephants are at, and right before we get to where the elephants are at, because the elephants aren't ready yet, they say, okay, after the elephant ride, if there's enough time, we'll go to the waterfall. If there's not enough time, we'll go do the elephant show and the monkey show and the crocodile show, and then after, we'll go to the waterfall. So we get up there, the elephants come in, and oh my God, Danelle is just going crazy. And it was so cool because I could feel her excitement, which was making me excited, which was great. We get on the elephant, and the mahout, the person who takes care of the elephant, was on the front, and he was directing us along. Danelle asked him a few questions about the elephant. The elephant was about 30 years old. The mahout had been with the elephant for about 10 years, and he was really nice. Now, one of the bad things about the last elephant ride that I went on, once we'd been on the ride for a little while, the guy turned around and was trying to sell Tracy and I ivory, and he kept saying, "But don't worry, it's not elephant ivory. It's from the fish in the sea and the river." But we didn't want to. We just paid for this trip. We didn't want to buy ivory, and whether I couldn't tell you if it was ivory to look at it, But I don't want to pay for something like that. I mean, I didn't know if it was elephant bone or if it was fish bone or whatever it was. It was just something that I really didn't, and he kind of tried to hard sell us and pushed it really, really hard. But the nice thing is, when I did the elephant ride with Danelle, there was none of that. But one of the nice things was, after we'd gone about 5 minutes, the guy stopped and he said, "Would you like me to take your picture?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, sure." So I gave him my camera. He goes down and he's taking takes a ton of pictures of Danelle and I on the elephant, and it's so exciting, And then Danelle sees a baby elephant with its mother, which was really cool. And she was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," which was really cool. I'd never seen her like this excited. Well, just seeing her this excited, she'd been excited on the whole elephant trek, And again, I make it sound the whole elephant trek. I make it sound like it's a really long trek, but it was only about 15 or 20 minutes. And we just kind of go in this big little circle, up and down a little bit, and around corners and stuff. And to be honest, I'll be honest, it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. And being there with Danelle was such an amazing experience, seeing her excitement. So we get back there, and we took some pictures. Our elephant was actually cooling down under her mahout was spraying her with some water, which was kind of cool. We had our picture taken. The actual place was doing pictures. I think Danelle got a picture, which was that was a great experience for her. Something to help her remember the time riding that, and it was just great. And she was so excited. And then once everybody finished with their elephant ride, we all gathered back up, and he said, "Okay." Our guide, not really our guide, the guy that was taking us from place to place, was like, "Okay, now we're going to get everybody in the back of this truck," and it's actually called the Song Tao because it has two row seats in the back. And he said, "We're going to go up to the place where we can go to the water, where we can hike to the waterfall." So he drives us back up there, going along. Get to the place. There's a little trek, it's really cool because you kind of have to trek through the woods, and you follow this trail, and you have to go across this wooden bridge, and then you have to go up this little bit of a mountain rocky area, and you go down, and you come up, and there's actually these two waterfalls on it. It's beautiful. Now, what we didn't know is that if we wanted, we could go swimming in these waterfalls, in the pools at the bottom of this waterfall. We didn't know that, so we didn't bring any of our swim gear. But, that's okay. But we also found out that we could go up to the top of this waterfall. So Danelle and I hiked up the little place to go up to the top of this waterfall, which was really kind of cool. And you could look down, and just the view was just amazing. It's all jungle, you know what I mean? So lots of trees and rocks and stuff. And cliffs, but it was really amazing. And then we hiked back down, and again, it was another record high day. So Danelle and I went and sat down because climbing up and climbing back down, it was quite hot. I got some good pictures of the waterfall, but we went and sat down at this table area and just cooled down, had a drink, And then we waited for everybody else to finish up. And they said, okay, now we're going to the elephant show. And we all get back in the truck and they take us over to where the elephant show area is. Drop us off. We all get out. And as we walk up to the elephant show area, there's this great big pool of water. And the elephant is having a good time playing in the water and playing with his mahout. And the mahout is scrubbing him with a brush. And it looks like he really enjoys it. And all of that is really, really cool. And they said, okay, the elephant show is further up. Go up over there to the bleachers. So we all make our way up to there. And this is kind of where everything falls apart for us, unfortunately. They had the elephant doing all of these pictures, and people were riding the elephant with the mahout walking on the ground, which is cool. That's fine. But it just kind of, I felt like it was, well, both Danelle and I felt like it was a little bit too much, especially in the heat that we had that day. There was a lot of people, and he had it posing for pictures, and it was doing a lot of stuff. And, but then at one point in time, the elephant was like, all right, this is enough. I'm going back to the pool because I need to cool down, which was kind of cool, and they let him go. And then they had somebody come up, and they played soccer, or football. And the guy had called somebody up to kick the football, and then he kicked the football, and the elephant stopped it. And then the elephant kicked the football at him, and they scored and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. Kind of cool, but kind of bad. It was like I just kind of felt bad for this elephant. It didn't look very old to be in either. So it was like, but when the elephant decided it was done, which was kind of cool. And then we had the monkey show. Now the monkey show, like I said just a little bit ago, I was really kind of worried it was going to be these monkeys playing these little ukuleles, but it actually wasn't. They had one monkey. And he came over, he was on a leash, and they told us about the monkeys in this area. And this is like, I remember this from Chiang Mai. I didn't actually see this when I was in Chiang Mai, but I'd heard about it. Is they have the coconuts. To get the coconuts out of the trees, they hire these monkeys. And then what they do is the monkeys climb up the tree and they spin the coconut until it breaks off and it falls to the ground. And then it gets a treat. They open up the coconut and there's a little plug inside, and they give it, not a plug, but a little ball inside, and they give that to the monkey, and the monkey loves it. But it was pretty cool. And they explained everything about the monkey's job and how many coconuts a monkey can do in an hour, which is like phenomenal. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but it was just amazing. And then they had the monkey show us, they had the monkey show us. He climbed up the tree and he spun a couple of coconuts until they fell down out of the tree, which was really kind of cool. And then we walked over to the crocodile. They said, okay, now this is good. Now we'll go over to the crocodile show. And the crocodile show was actually really amazing. And just the things that they could do. They put their hands inside the crocodile's mouths. They put money in there and took the money back out. And then they actually put their head in there. And it was like, wow, I was hoping, please, I hope nothing happens, please. And fortunately, nothing happened, but it was still pretty cool to see that it was going on. And then they said, okay, now we'll all go back up and have lunch. And we all went up and had a really good lunch. And then we took the van back, and it was a pretty exhausting day, really, again. So we went back and we hung out with Tracy for a little bit and had a drink. And we relaxed, and then we had dinner. I mean, it sounds like we're kind of boring, but it was a great time. We actually hadn't had a chance to swim in the sea yet, which was kind of weird. But it was a lot of fun. And what was funny is, I believe this night we were sitting up on the beach and we're having our dinner, and these two girls walked down the beach, and then they away from view from everybody, they stripped off all their clothes, and then they ran off into the sea naked. And it was like, what's going on here? And it's dark out, so they're tourists, so they're white and they kind of glow in the sun, but I don't think, or not in the sun, sorry, they kind of glow in the moonlight, but I don't think they realized how far out they actually had to go to be covered by the sea. And then they had to come back, which was really kind of funny. And of course they're coming back and they're kind of covering up a little bit, and it was funny in general, the whole situation. And the everybody was like, yeah, you can come up here and have dinner now. And the girls were like, yeah, okay, thank you, fine, and no. And they wandered back. They got their clothes, got dressed, and wandered back up the beach. But it was pretty funny. And then the third day, we decided we were going to go see this thing called the Big Buddha, which is Wat Phra Yai. And when I say Big Buddha, I mean this thing is massive, and it's kind of out on this little point a little bit, and it overlooks the sea. Actually, he's facing into the island, so you look past him out to the sea, and it is up. You have to climb up all these massive steps, but it was really cool. It was really powerful to see, and there was this market around the area. And Danelle, this was really cool. I felt really honored. My sister Danelle, she is a practicing Zen Buddhist, or mildly practicing. I don't want to say she's practicing if she's not practicing, but anyway, we decided we were going to go up and get blessed. So Danelle and I both go up there, and we kneel down in front of the monk that was sitting there, and he blessed both of us, and it was really cool. I felt really honored to have that done with my sister. So, and I got this really great little bracelet, orange bracelet that he ties around your wrist when he blesses you, and then he sprinkles holy water on you while he says a bit of a prayer. It's kind of really amazing. Now, we got a really cool taxi driver. He was really funny. He's like, okay, this is Big Buddha 1. After we finish at Big Buddha 1, I'll take you to Big Buddha 2. And Tracy's like, Big Buddha 2? What are you talking about, Big Buddha 2? Come to find out, we passed it on our way to the Big Buddha. There's a great big, giant, colorful Chinese-style Buddha. Big, like the Jolly Buddha, big fat belly, and he's sitting up, and so we were like, oh yeah, sure. Well, okay, we decided, okay, yeah, we'll go there after we finish at Big Buddha 1. So we ended up going to Big Buddha 2. And then, like I said, and again, he's massive, like the other Big Buddha. And then they also have a great big giant Kuan Yin. And the name of this area, this temple is called Wat Phra Layam. I can't pronounce it. Wat Phra Layam. WATPLAILAEM. I apologize if I'm butchering its pronunciation. But yeah, so this was really cool, and they had 2 big Dharma wheels with people rolling the Dharma wheels, and the Buddha and Kuan Yin are out on the water, so you have to walk across this big open stretch of like a bridge to get to Kuan Yin and to get to Big Buddha, the Jolly Buddha, and that was really cool. Except when I walked out to go see it, Danelle and Tracy got a bit ahead of me. So when I walked out to go see Kuan Yin, because it's a temple area, you take your shoes off to go into a temple area. I took my shoes off, and I'm walking up to go see if they actually happen to be behind Kuan Yin. And I'm walking on the light-colored tile, so it's quite cool. Not quite cool. It's warm, but it's not hot. But then you get to where the Kuan Yin is actually at, and all the tiles are a dark color. So I'm walking across there, and oh man, those tiles were so hot. And I'm like, jumping back and forth, not back and forth, but hopping on my feet a little bit, just trying to get to the other side to see to get to a cool spot, a shaded spot, and finally got there, but they weren't there, so I had to go back across this super hot tiles and quickly walking across it to get to the cooler light-colored tiles, and then I walked back across the bridge, and I ended up finding Danelle and Tracy, and they walked up to Kuan Yin. But it was pretty cool, and this taxi driver, he was a riot. He was a lot of fun. Had lots of information, kind of about what was going on and stuff. So we go back to after we finished at Big Buddha 2, took lots of pictures, and again, I'll share all these pictures in the show notes. Not all of them, because I took hundreds and hundreds of pictures, but I took a lot of pictures. I'll share some of them in the show notes at domdumas.com/25. So we finished up there, and we go back to the resort, and they had a big, really big kind of dinner where. No, that was the next day. Sorry, my mistake. But yeah, so we go back to the room, and of course, like I said, it's been really, really hot while we were there. So by the time we get back to the resort, we're kind of exhausted, just from the heat alone. And we relax until dinner time. Then we have dinner, have a lovely dinner. We still haven't been on the beach and in the sea yet. Can you believe that? We hadn't gone swimming in the sea. We've been there 3 days. And we hadn't been in the sea yet. So we decided, okay, we're not doing anything tomorrow. On the fourth day, we're just going to relax, and we're going to go in the sea, and we're going to have some fun. So on the fourth day, we get up, have breakfast, go back to the rooms, change clothes, and get ready to go out to the sea. Danelle and I decided we're going to have a massage. Danelle's getting a Thai massage. I'm getting an oil massage. And it was like, so we go out to the sea, we swim out for a little bit. Now, I'm being very smart because I can remember one time when Tracy and I went to Krabi 10 years ago. I didn't put a lot of I put sunblock on my face, I put sunblock on my neck, I put sunblock on my arms. I neglected to put sunblock on my legs, and I got so burnt. My legs were so crisp. I actually still have scars 10 years later from when I burnt my legs in Krabi. But so I left my T-shirt on because I'm Norwegian. I don't tan. I crisp. But I made sure to make sure everything was covered up with sunblock. You know, I put it on my face, my neck, my legs, my arms, my hands. And then we went swimming in the sea, and it was so nice. You know, Danelle and Tracy and I are all just kind of hanging out and swimming back and forth and having a good time. And we decided, okay, let's go back up to the beach for a little bit, maybe get some lunch. Danelle's appointment for her massage is coming up soon. So we go back up to the beach, relax, have some lunch. Danelle goes for her massage. She comes back. I go for my massage, come back, and it was so nice. And we just had a good day, and we went swimming in the sea again afterwards. And then that night they had a Songkran kind of party at the resort. Not a Songkran party. Songkran is the Thai New Year. But they had like Miss Songkran, Mr. Songkran, and the guys had to do this, drink a Chang beer as fast as they could through a straw. But the girls had to do, I don't know, they had to do like walk around and do some stuff. But they had like traditional dress of Thai people, and they had this great big buffet, and it was a really nice setup, and they had some good music. People were playing songs, and overall it was really great. Now, one of the things I didn't like, but it wasn't too bad, is on Koh Samui, yes, they have taxis, but none of the taxis have meters. And to go anywhere, if it's close, you're starting at about 400 baht just to go from point A to point B. That's not counting coming back. And then to come back again, it's again 400 baht. You know, depending on how far you go. And of course you have to negotiate. So you have to try and get a cheaper price. Now, one of the taxi guys, he wanted 500 to go one way, and we talked him down a little bit. But overall, it was really good. The resort itself was just amazing. If you ever come to Bangkok and you want to go to the beach, there's tons of beaches, don't get me wrong, but Koh Samui and going to Samui Paradise Resort, we loved it. And our plan is maybe one day we'll go back there again. If we get some more visitors who come to visit us here in Bangkok and they want to go to the beach, that's where we're going to go again, maybe. Or maybe we'll surprise them and go someplace else. But I hope I haven't bored you with our Koh Samui Island journey, and it was a great trip overall. We loved it. I hope you enjoyed me talking about it, but that's all I just can't stop babbling for some reason. But that's all for now. I'd like to thank you for listening, and I want you to always remember the most important things in life are family. Keep them close to your heart, even if they're miles and miles away. Keep them close to your heart. All right, thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye-bye. Please rate my show, or leave a comment, or make suggestions of what you would like me to talk about. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Dom Dumas, on Twitter @Dom Dumas, and on Instagram, Dom_Dumas. Thanks a lot.